Has things hit the fan in the Canadian economy? Are we in a recession? We just got brand new data that was released today, Canada's jobs report. We're going to take a look at the data. But first, I want to tell all of you who I am. I'm a Canadian, hardworking Canadian family guy. I have a deep sense of belief that Canada could and should be the strongest nation on planet Earth. My entire life, I've been private. I was never on social media. I didn't want to be on social media. I do not desire to get the attention. I was fine being in the background. But 2 years ago, something happened inside of me and I absolutely snapped. I looked around and I realized the dream, the Canadian dream is gone. Home ownership out of reach. Families too expensive, and retirement completely wiped out by inflation, and our government lying through their teeth while legacy media read out a script. That's when I said, enough. Enough is enough. This channel is for all the working Canadians out there, for the retirees that have been completely robbed, for the parents that are worried about their children's future, and for everybody out there that believes in the truth and not a narrative. I'm not a politician. I'm my true, authentic self. I put myself out there. I'm vulnerable every single day, and I'm transparent and open for all of you. I have a quick story to tell. So I met one of my fans, but before I say the story, if I run into any of you in public, don't be shy. Say hi. I don't bite. And I'm going to say hi back to you. And it would be my pleasure to meet all of you. Anyway, this fan, I spent 10 minutes with this fan. And you know what he said at the end? He's like, wow, I can't even believe it. The content you put out there and how you are in real life is literally the same. And I said, well, yeah, I'm trying to be my authentic self. Some of you might want to know my background in education. I started off in university at Simon Fraser in geography to be a meteorologist. I soon found out what kind of pay I was going to get. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I went to BCIT in the real estate program there. It's a marketing management, professional real estate. And I got a diploma. Here it is. By far, it was the best education I could have asked for. One of the things my teacher did, which I still do to this day, is he said, you need to read every single newspaper in the morning. And when you show up in class, I'm going to randomly select an article and you need to tell me everything about the article and how it relates to real estate and the economy in Canada. Here's the thing. He would only pick an article once a month, or sometimes he would do 2 weeks in a row, but we had zero idea when he was going to select the article, meaning you needed to wake up early before class and read every single newspaper article. And one thing that has done, and I still do it to today, and I graduated 14 years ago, is the relentless pursuit of the truth. You have to piece together all the articles from everywhere around the world and make it make sense. I'm happy I got that education because it gave me the toolbox in order to know exactly what I'm looking for. Oh, also for education, I passed my realtor exam. I haven't hung my license anywhere. I'm not practicing in real estate, but I did want to take the education and challenge that exam. I've also done my mortgage broker licensing exam. That's all good. And I have an active license that's hung at a brokerage. And my focus is commercial real estate finance. And one of the things that I really like is in life, the absolute best way to learn is to go full tilt, neck deep, and just try to survive. That's the way I like to do it. One thing that you'll like is I have a wicked sense of humor. Well, some people don't feel that way, but I love to use sarcasm because it helps me cope. What I do every single day is I study the economy, I decode the politics, and I provide receipts and the data sets. You'll see facts, you'll see numbers, and sometimes you'll probably laugh your ass off. I make content that the media will not touch. And just so you know, I have no filters. There's no one behind me telling me what to say or telling me what to do. I do not have any sponsorships currently. If I do, I'm going to let everybody know. But that sponsor needs to be fully aligned with myself. Any sponsors out there? Just kidding. And something that I believe in, and that's my core value, is I believe in common sense. Something that is not common anymore. Just one Canadian speaking to the other Canadians. Oh, and Americans. I'm not going to forget about you. I know there's a lot of Americans that watch my show. So if you're tired of being lied to, you found the right place. Welcome to my channel. Let's get into the report. I apologize for the long introduction. I just want people to get to know me a little bit. Let's get into the content. The jobs reports in Canada are absolutely terrible. We're going to take a look at the numbers and the data, but I want you to hear it from me first. We are in a recession in Canada. They're not going to say it on mainstream media, but here I'm going to tell you the truth. Canada is in a recession. We just found out today that in the month of March, we lost 54,100 jobs. And in the month of February, we lost 40,200 jobs. So if we add the two past months of reporting together, that's 100,000 jobs lost in Canada. Here's a chart from Richard Diaz on X. He provides great economic data. This chart is Canada's employment growth. Those red bars are how many jobs we're adding in the market. And if you look at the far right, those are the last two jobs report, which is the 100,000 jobs that we lost in February and March. But I want you to notice the red line, the dotted line, on how the trend is down, down, down. That shows that our economic growth and the amount of jobs that we're creating is slowing considerably over the past year. We were also provided this chart. The payroll employment decreases for the second consecutive month in March. Check out the trend. It looks like we have flatlined and now we are going down. Something that's also important, there's just over 500,000 job vacancies in Canada. And for 7 consecutive months, there has been zero change to that number. And on a year-over-year basis, there is a total job vacancy decrease of 72,800. Think about this. There's less jobs available out there. I want to show you this chart, the job vacancy rate and the unemployment rate. See, when there's lots of jobs available, that's great. You could go and find one. When you have a decreasing job vacancy rate and your unemployment is increasing, that means the jobs that means the jobs that people have, they're losing and they're going out into the market and there's zero jobs for them to get. This is a scary trend. And you want to hear the most incredible part about this entire thing? It has nothing to do with elbows up and Donald Trump. We only lost 1,800 manufacturing jobs in the month of March. The vast majority of the unemployment loss is in the service sector, which is close to 60,000 jobs lost. And that's after 32,700 were lost in the previous month of February. That means our service sector is crumbling. And yes, it has nothing to do with Donald Trump's tariffs. It's because we are so broke, absolutely broke in Canada. No one is going out and getting any kind of services whatsoever. Restaurants, you name it. People can't afford to eat, let alone pay for their rent and mortgage. Another thing, our Canadian dollar. Back in January, it was sub 70 cents. Now it's back up to above 72 cents. That strength has hurt the transportation and warehousing industry. Combined with the manufacturing, there's 3,500 jobs lost. We're going to have to watch this, but I have a feeling the Bank of Canada will cut interest rates and the US aren't cutting anything. That means watch out the Canadian loonie. We're about to see it go down. And with all these job losses, there are significant job losses in real estate, construction, retail, finance, all the industries that are very sensitive to interest rates. So the Bank of Canada, they're begging the Bank of Canada to cut interest rates because they are hemorrhaging jobs right now. Here's another chart. Payroll employment for March decreased in 10 sectors and only increased in 3 sectors. Another troubling trend is the year-over-year job vacancies are down in 11 sectors and only up in 2. That's it, in the month of March. I want to show everybody this chart. Consumers seriously in trouble, 90 days past due, non-mortgage delinquency rates across Canada. Check out Ontario. There are tons of job losses in Ontario. Check out Alberta, BC, Manitoba. The only places that are doing a little bit better is Saskatchewan and the East Coast. And this is just a reminder, Mark Carney's 1% tax cut is not going to be saving anybody. That is $1.09 every single day that you're going to be saving on this tax break. We need a significant tax break in order to make ends meet right now. And I want you to check out this. Ontario sets a record for mortgage delinquencies not seen before. This is for loans that are past due over 90 days, not seen since 2012. We're at the highest level, basically, that is 2012, because that's as far as records go. We are at record territory for mortgage delinquencies in Ontario, and we're just getting started. The Bank of Canada needs to get out of the penalty box in the hockey game because you're about to get scored on. Get out and do something, because last interest rate announcement, they did absolutely nothing. But now that we've taken a look at this dismal jobs report, they better start cutting and saving this economy or we are toast. We have an interest rate announcement next week on June 4th. I'm going to provide a special report for that interest rate announcement, so stay tuned. Before I end the report, I want to explain something for everybody. See, let's say you have a $2 million property. Right now, the amount of listings across Canada is exploding upwards. And sales are absolutely dismal. And people still think that the value of their homes is what they're listing it for because their neighbor's also listing it for $2 million. But what happens is when someone loses their job and they panic sell, that is the new price in that market. So once things actually do sell, if nothing's selling in the real estate market, nobody knows what the price is. They'll find out the price when someone sells, and then they say, shoot, my price of my property is now worth X amount, and they'll lower their price. And then it continues to lower and lower, and then panic sets, and people just try to undercut and offload their product. We are still waiting for that to happen in Canada. We haven't seen anything like this since the 1990s. I will be keeping everybody up to date with what's happening in the real estate market in Canada. So stay tuned. I will see you on the next report.